on Edmonton Sports Talk. Sorry about that. We're having some issues there. It's EST afternoons on this Thursday afternoon. Another cold one here in the city of champions. It's Joaquin Gage. It's Hernan Salas. It's Zach Kubusch. Sorry for that start there. Yeah, it was a little rough there. Hit the thumbs up. If you'd like to listen to us, hit us up on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, iHeart, or the TuneIn radio apps, or watch us on the EST YouTube channel. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Text us 780-218-9999. And it's your last chance today to qualify for the EST Flyaway to LA, which is proudly presented by the 780. One more opportunity on our show, one more opportunity on the Reed Wilkins show, and tomorrow on the morning show, the grand prize will be given away. Oilers return to practice today. We got free agent lists in the CFL. Fun show, 120. Derek Van Diest from NHL.com will join us to talk all things Oilers, and we'll look out west as well as Vancouver dealing with more injuries. We'll get to that shortly. 140 Red Light District with our guy, Joaquin Gage. Always look forward to what he has in store for that segment. And at 2:30, we will be joined by Montreal Alouettes quarterback, fresh off a 3-year contract extension. Davis Alexander will join us. We'll chat with the newly signed starting quarterback for Montreal. But first off, Gager, my man, feeling any better on day 3?
Yeah, it's coming around, buddy. We'll fingers crossed. You'll be able to give me a big hug tomorrow. How about that?
Oh, that sounds great. That's great, Gager. I'm glad you're feeling better, and it's been crazy. Jay Millen ordered pizza today for us for Thanksgiving.
Oh, imagine that without me there. Yeah,
yeah, and he ordered 3, so we're just chilling here, having watching some NFL. I'll give you a quick.
That's kind of cool. I guess I get it. Yeah, I get it. It's the Thanksgiving in America, the big turkey. The big turkey's buying pizza for everybody. So whatever.
Hey, I like that. I was just checking in on the game here. It is on commercial right now, but the lines were up 23-13 last time I glanced at the TV. Coming up, Giants, Cowboys, and then it's Packers, Dolphins, where you can go hang out with Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino on Fort Road. It's, I think, Philly cheese brisket special today, Gager. Ooh. But, yeah, should be a fun one. Always is when Lieutenant Eric is down there at the Century Casino. Fort Road. Gager, my man, how was 2 guys in a goalie? It looked like you guys were having a ton of fun. Charlie Lindgren, I got to ask you, have you ever seen a goalie score a goal like that on his own net?
I must have, but not with such authority, That's what I mean. Like, he buried that thing. I've seen guys shoot it maybe, but it wasn't off the post. It was just straight back of the net. And poor guy. And I said on 2 guys, there's been moments when I've put the puck in my own net, but usually it was like, I was trying to keep it out, or I was reaching back and hit it in, or something, or misplay, whatever. It hit my arm and went in, but never have I had full control of it outside the net and went to wrap it and buried it. Like, something in my mind would always tell me, like, don't put this in your own net. That's the first thing that goes through your mind when you're shooting it pretty close. I think I've come close a couple times, maybe. Like, I fired it and hit the back of the net, and I've done that a few times and brought fans out of their seats because they thought I put it in, but it actually hit the back. You know how it? And I think actually the light came on too, but it just bounced off the back, and I had to tell everyone to settle down. I tried to do that.
I mean, Gager, that's like, is that the goalie's like biggest fear? You come out to play it, you want to rim it around the boards, and you put it into your own net? Because I don't think I've ever seen that in all my life, and I'm pretty old watching hockey.
You don't see it very often. I want to say Mike Smith did it once, but I don't think so. I mean, if you're asking me if a guy that was never thought about doing that would have been Mike Smith. Like, there's never been someone more confident with the puck than he was. Like, most guys, I remember distinctly, like, he served a pizza right on someone's tape going up the middle.
Oh, yeah.
He did a lot of those. Like, he's first assist on a lot of the goals that he's allowed. But right back next shift, someone dumps it, he's out there grabbing it again. And he actually told a good story about that too, because I think he was it was a time when he was in Dallas and Marty Turco, who was also really good at handling the puck. Mike Smith went out there, coughed it up, gave a goal, and then they rimmed it the next play, and he didn't go out to stop it. And I think in a TV timeout, he came over and Turco said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, I messed up." He goes, No. You get right back. You get right back on that horse. If that's part of your game that you're successful with, and he was really successful, almost to a fault, I thought at times. But he was just so good at it. It's just one of those things with certain goalies that you don't really see much anymore. Like it's a lost art for sure. The ability to play pucks. I don't think there's anyone even close to that. Where around that time there was multiple guys that were really good at handling the puck.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A good thing for them, though, they won the game, Gager.
Yeah.
I think you can laugh about it now, right? Like, you can be like, holy smokes, that was a bit ridiculous and all that. But at least they won the game. It is Thanksgiving down in the U.S., and the word on the street is if you're not in a playoff spot, you will not be in the playoffs come April. But we know that it's somewhat accurate, Gager, but I got a few things I'm going to throw your way, and I want you to be like if you're surprised or not, because there's some interesting things happening in the NHL and the Oilers. I also want to report that our own Jason Milne, he's become the new CFL insider. He's doing a great job. He tweeted out 5 hours ago, "I'm hearing that Mark Killam is the leading candidate in search of the next head coach of the Double E," and seeing a lot of other CFL insiders now throwing out the same information. So looks like we're going to get Mark Killam here in Edmonton. He's got great hair, Gager. By all accounts, players absolutely love this guy. Absolutely love him. He spent a lot of time in Calgary, so he knows listen, this is not based off last year, but what a good culture is, what a good room is. And I don't mind that hiring. It sounds like Rick Campbell is not going to be the guy. So I like Killam. He's an Edmonton guy, Gager. U of A Bear, a lot of years in the league. And I know some are skeptical because he's interviewed for head coach in the past and hasn't got, but sometimes it's just not your time, right, Gager? And he's been under Dave Dickinson. He's been under Huff, which is one of the best guys you want to be, learn from and be around. I like this if it does become true, and it sounds like it will. Yeah,
I mean, kudos to Jay to uncover these things. Granted, my knowledge of these guys isn't high, but as you mentioned, this guy's been with some of the best to do it over the last decade. So the proper pieces are being put in place to be successful from every level in management so far, which is really great. I really like this.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a trade. The Oilers are looking for. I think they've traded for Charlie Lindgren for Zach Hyman. Better net front presence.
Oh man, you almost had me there, you bugger. You truly did. I was like, wait, what? I was scrolling Twitter like crazy. Derek from the Hat says McSimic for the OC. Well, Derek, I would love that, but keep in mind that he is interviewing also for the BC Lions head coaching job. So, we'll wait and see. I'm expecting maybe if this is already out there, Jay Milne threw it out this morning, I'm expecting maybe something next week. Gager will be down at Commonwealth again, hopefully, because I love being down there. It's always a fun time seeing the staff and some of the players, and it's just exciting because there's a new vibe around the Edmonton Elks. The free agent list also came out, Gager, 30 for the Edmonton Elks. There's some key names there, but for me, trade forward's the big one. I'll also go with, I think for me, it's Niles Morgan, one of the most underrated, best linebackers in the CFL. And I'd pick Darius Bratton, a guy you've invested 2 years in as a cornerback. He's played well. I would like to see him back. I understand it's a new GM that didn't bring him into the league, but he is quality. But there's a lot of players on the list, Gager, that I would bring back. But you got to see, this is Ed Hervey's team now. This is not a Chris Jones, G. Simon team. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens because they can re-sign their guys, but if not, they'll all become free agents on February 11th. Gage, I'm going to ask you this since it is Thanksgiving, and you know how to get around the kitchen. Yeah, you're an excellent cook. You send me some pictures of your meals. Sides for Thanksgiving. You got mac and cheese, you got stuffing, you got mashed potatoes, and you got yams. You have to start, bench, cut, and trade one of those. Let's start with, which one would you start?
You got to start with the stuffing.
Yes.
That's easy. That's simple. Like the easiest way to know which one you like the most, and if you're not a complete jackass, is when you get into the line, because usually at Thanksgiving, there's the line, you're going through the line, and you get to the stuffing, and you want basically half your plate to be stuffing.
Yes.
But you take a bit, and you want more, but you want to leave some for everyone else. Yeah. That's how you know you really like that side, and that's always how I see stuffing. It's like, geez, I could take a softball size of this thing and just pour gravy all over it and destroy it. But I got to leave some for everyone else. So stuffing for sure.
So who would you bench? So that means that it would be your second side, in my opinion. Mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, yams.
It's mashed. The second thing going on my plate is the mashed potatoes. Yeah. You got to have the mashed potatoes. They're creamy, garlicky, buttery, awesome.
Which one would you cut completely? You got yams or mac and cheese?
Yams or mac and cheese. I think I'm benching. So benching is off. Just
benching is like your second choice in this one. Okay. Cut is like you cut it completely off the menu.
I think I'll cut the mac and cheese and stay with the yams.
Oh,
I like the
look
sweet
at that.
potato yams. Yeah.
You know what? I'm not a big mac and cheese guy either on Thanksgiving. Like I don't like it's
not the proper side. Like that's barbecue summertime.
Yeah.
Side. When you're doing something else. Not at Thanksgiving. I love mac and cheese. I think a homemade mac and cheese. There's nothing quite like it. But Thanksgiving, yams. So we got yams. We got mashed potatoes. We got gravy. Got turkey.
Stuffing.
That's it. That's it, buddy.
Yeah, all right. That's good to know, Gage. Right? We're kind of on the same wavelength. I don't mind some yams, man. If they're seasoned nice just perfectly, it's a nice addition as a third option to go with the mashed potatoes and the stuffing. Derek from the Hat says mashed potatoes over stuffing. Come at me, bro. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of those two, Gager. Excuse me. Big Brain Jay says yams with marshmallows on top. So good. Have you ever had that, Gager?
I'm not a huge ambrosia kind of salad. It's always made at my in-laws, and the only people that eat it is my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and they get ripped by everyone else. Like it's a marshmallow. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not a huge marshmallow guy to begin with.
Okay.
But yeah,
neither am I.
They're gross.
Like even camping it over the fire and like
everyone says these s'more things, and I put it gets all. At first, it tastes like an ashtray because it's been in the fire, and then it's all burnt. Then your fingers get all sticky. You can't wash your hands. It's a complete waste of time. S'mores, no.
It's a disaster. Yeah.
It's a disaster.
It's a disaster to make and eat, and they're just not that good. Plain and simple. Matt Hyman says green bean casserole on Thanksgiving. How about that?
Yeah, that's in there. That's in there for sure. We've got that. That's solid. But no, what else? I'm trying to think of some other things in there.
He said Matt adds with crispy onions.
Yeah, that's on there for sure.
That's crazy. All right, we'll continue the what's your go-to sides for Thanksgiving? Let us know if you got something out there, because for us, like we do a traditional Canadian Thanksgiving, but we also add sides that are like Chilean, just because we like it, right? So like I'm always curious other cultures what you add to like just a North American Thanksgiving, right? Because everybody does it a little bit different. We still do the stuffing and the cranberry, and like I think my nephew and my brother-in-law are the only ones that eat cranberry sauce. The rest of us are like, we're good with gravy and the stuffing and all that. So it's always a little bit different. I want to throw this at you before we bring in DVD. Taylor Hall scored a hat trick yesterday, Gager. It was his first hat trick since 2013. How crazy is that?
When did he win the Hart? Is it 2013 was last when he won that thing?
No, because he was still with the Oilers, Gage.
Oh, he's still with the Oilers at that point.
Yeah.
That's
Reed and I were trying to figure out when he scored that hat trick, and we didn't want to do the search. So if anyone out there remembers Taylor Hall's last hat trick, but listen, hat tricks are hard to come by, Gager, and Taylor Hall's not Connor McDavid, so it's not like he can get 4 a season. But Taylor Hall, like you said, he had a Hart Trophy season. He's been a hell of a player up until maybe the last 2-3 years. It's just bizarre that it's been 11 years since he scored a hat trick.
You'd think he would have seen one or two at least in that time frame, but I mean, his the arc of his career was it was interesting to say the least, right? He came to an organization that touted him as the savior, and that was unfair.
Yeah.
He didn't. The biggest mistake of the Edmonton Oilers at that point was probably to his name's escaping me. One of the really good veteran presence, Matt Hendricks. I think it was a mistake to get rid of him. He had a good voice, I think, and the leash was really too long for these young guys to try to figure out the NHL. They should have insulated these guys with.
Yeah.
I'd look more towards how Chicago's doing it with Bedard, and I know he's having a tough season, but there's a lot of guys in place to that can take some of the burden off of him. And I know he's the face of the franchise now, but and then Taylor Hall gets traded to and you know what, the first season I believe in New Jersey, everyone was up in arms, but because of the play of Adam Larson and the success of the Edmonton Oilers, I don't think that trade was mentioned once. It was the next year that they said, why did we get rid of Taylor Hall, obviously, and he goes on this Hart campaign, right? But look, he's I don't know. I mean, he's had a pretty successful career, but he's not a player. He's a good player. I don't think he's a great player.
No.
Definitely not close to the superstar status that he was touted to be. He was a complimentary piece that just hasn't had, aside from that 1 year of dragging the lowly New Jersey Devils team into the playoffs, has been okay. I mean, it's been really good, but it's not from what you thought it was going to be for this player coming out of Windsor.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're at 24 thumbs up. Let's get to 100. We've been lacking the last couple of days. Let's once again do it for our guy Gager. Let's do it for Zach Hyman too. Hopefully he can return quickly to the lineup, and let's do it for all our friends down south there that are celebrating Thanksgiving with 3 NFL games and tons of food. Before we get to Derek Van Diest and a break, where is this one? Spency 5 Cents. Did Gage just say no to wagon wheels? Why? I never.
Stop it. You might get blocked, Spency, if you like those things. Jimbo, I like what you're saying. Can we normalize eating whatever you want at Thanksgiving? I say the same thing. Like, yeah. I love to look through the old cookbooks and find something that's new.
There's no rules, Gager.
No. And really, we have so many of these things, and having the back-to-back Christmas things, a little variety, something new. Throw some burritos in there.
For sure. Gager's live from his home as he's close to returning to the studios. Zach and I are live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. On the other side of the break, Derek Van Diest from NHL.com will get an update from Oilers practice as they finally return to the ice tomorrow, Gage. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. But here's Zach with a sports update.
Right now, the Lions lead the Bears 23-13 early in the fourth quarter. Later, it's the Giants kicking off with the Cowboys and the Dolphins going at it with the Packers, where you can join Lieutenant Eric for the action down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road. And according to EST's very own Jason Milne, Mark Killam, former special teams coordinator and assistant head coach for the Stampeders, is the leading candidate for the next head coach of the Edmonton Elks. And the NHL has an off day today with the Oilers in Utah tomorrow. On tap tonight, the Oil Kings hit the ice with the Hitmen out in Calgary on a 10-game WHL slate. And FIFA has placed the Canadian men's soccer team at 31st in the world rankings to end the year. This is the highest ranking Canada has received, with 33rd being the previous best back in 2022. On the other side of the break, NHL.com's Derek Van Diest joins EST Afternoons. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for two, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
It's 1:25 here, Thursday afternoon, EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage here, Zach, the producer, as well, joining us here on this wonderful day. Thanksgiving down in the U.S. 3 games on tap. Well, we just got Okay, he's good. I want to throw this in there. Sorry, I was just going to update the score for the game. Zach just had it as well. It's just currently frozen on my end. So, but Matt Hyman, he did the homework for us, Gager. Taylor Hall's last hat trick before yesterday was December 5th, 2013 versus the Avs. Hall became the 5th player in NHL history to go 10 years between hat tricks, regular season or playoffs. How crazy is that?
That's nuts, man. That's nuts. I like a lot of things coming in for Thanksgiving dinner too. These are making me hungry. What's
the banana covered steaks?
That's interesting. I'd try a bite. I don't know how that worked, but
well, that's why I like you, Gager, because you would try you try everything and then you go from there, whether you like it or not. Yeah. That's the best way. Let's get to some Oilers talk here with Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. My Chilean compadre here. DVD, how you doing, man?
Good, guys. How you guys doing today?
We're doing excellent. How pumped are you for that Cowboys game this afternoon?
If it's anything less like on Sundays against the Redskins, what an atrocious football game. Those are the 2 poorly run franchises, and they showed that on Sunday. That was the game that both teams tried to give away, but
it was exciting.
Be 2 atrocious Yeah, it was exciting, but the guy, the Redskins tie the game on a Hail Mary, I guess, type play, and then the guy misses the convert. Yeah. It was just a tragedy watching that. That's not the way football should be played. And I expect the same today with the with the Giants and the Cowboys, just two really bad football teams, and it'll be a comedy of errors here on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're talking about Thanksgiving down in the U.S. DVD. What's your favorite side when it comes to Thanksgiving?
Side as in food?
Yeah.
Or what do you mean side? Yeah.
Like turkey and then the side.
I don't know. It's a good mashed potatoes, I think. Turkey and mashed potatoes. I'm a big mashed potatoes guy. So, yeah, I can eat those all day with, past the mashed potatoes. My mom usually makes them really well. So she makes them from scratch. So they're really good. They're not that box mashed potato stuff. I'm a big mashed potatoes guy. So turkey, mashed potatoes. That's what I would do for Thanksgiving.
DVD. Oilers returned to practice today. It was at 11 a.m. Any updates there? Derek Ryan and Kapanen back on the ice. I know Kapanen was doing some paperwork a few days ago, and Derek Ryan was a little bit ill. But any updates on those two, as well as Hyman and Arvidsson?
Yeah, Hyman was on the ice today. We got a chance to talk to him after practice. So, it's still obviously an undisclosed injury. Just the way they were talking today, I think it's a head injury, to be honest with you. He took a pretty good shot, I think, in Ottawa in the second period, late in the second period there, and has been back. But they've been kind of hush-hush about it. He was back on the ice today. We talked to him and asked if he was ready to go for this road trip. He'll be on the road trip. He's not sure how it is. He said he's taking it day to day. Chris Knobloch was a bit more optimistic. He thinks that Hyman will play in one of these games on the road trip. He's not sure where. So I don't know if it'll be in Utah tomorrow or Colorado Saturday, but they hope to get him back in the lineup before Tuesday anyway. So, nice. But he's back on the skates. He's back practicing with the team. Arvidsson, no, not sure. Didn't get an update on him yet, and I didn't recall seeing Derek Ryan today. I could be wrong, but I wasn't paying that close attention to practice anyway. But there was a couple of us there, but they just kind of went through a light skate and they were off the ice in about 20 minutes. So that's the situation. And then they're all heading to the airport right now and flying off to Utah. So they're excited about playing in Utah, though. It's a new building. They haven't played there. So we talked to Draisaitl about that. We talked to Corey Perry about that. So they're excited about going into a new market and see what that's like.
What's the overall mood of the team, Derek? Because we saw the things weren't going perfectly. They had a poor game against the Minnesota Wild, and then just an all-world game throughout the whole lineup. Probably their best performance to a man. Is that kind of, after this little break, is that giving them a little bit more mojo going into the Christmas season of the NHL?
I think so. I think they're kind of at two minds here. When you play a game as well as you did against the New York Rangers, you probably want to get back on the ice right away. But I know there's some bumps and bruises that the guys want to kind of get over. But I think we talked. That was kind of one of the themes today that we talked to the guys about. Some of the media that were down here today. We talked about the lack of consistency on this team. They look like world beaters one night, and then they look like they can't do anything the next night. And you look at the game against Minnesota and the game against New York, they're just complete contrasting games 2 days apart. So we talked about that, and they're obviously trying to get that consistency in their game. Corey Perry kind of joked about it, like, yes, every team's trying to be a consistent team, and it's just about doing the daily things well, doing your daily process well, and bringing it. But this Oilers team has always been this way. They seem to play when their backs are against the wall. They play urgent hockey. They play with urgency. And that's when they're best, when they're kind of on the front foot. But it almost seems like you have to have a gun to their head for them to kind of get going. They want to kind of get some traction here on this road trip. And now that they're a couple games above 500, they feel that they're playing well enough and they have enough skill on that team to kind of put a string together here and kind of make a run. Leon Draisaitl said they like where they are. They could be a lot worse, and which we saw last year was a lot worse. So, they like where they are. And they think that things are going well. It's a long season. They got a lot of hockey to play. But, I think they're happy that they can elevate their game to that level. It's just a matter of doing it on a consistent basis.
DVD, yesterday we were talking about Jeff Skinner, a guy that started well here when the team was struggling early on. He was one of their better forwards. He was around the net. He was chipping in offensively. Lately, he's been kind of all through the lineup, not scoring a lot. We talked about how he's kind of a one-trick pony. They signed him because he scores goals, DVD, and he's not going to bring you much else. What do you think the plan is for him going forward? Because for us, I know Gage and I and some of our listeners, we were like, just play him on the top 6 with either McDavid and Draisaitl. Give him a good run and see what you have. Is that the way you would go with Jeff Skinner?
Yeah, I would. Like, this is a guy that you need to get going. This is a guy that you hope could come in here and get you 20, 25 goals this season. You're hoping that he'd come in here with a bit of a chip on his shoulder, having had his, his contract bought out in Buffalo. I think this is a guy that, the power play is not going, and they keep throwing the same 5 guys out there. Obviously, Hyman's out now, so Perry's taking a spot. But I wouldn't mind seeing him in there for maybe a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, because he's got to get going as well. Give him some first-team power play minutes. Let him try and, get some confidence back in his game. He's a guy that, he's a pure goal scorer. He doesn't necessarily, go hard on the forecheck. He goes to the net. He can kind of sniff out those goals. So, a guy like that, he's a top 6 forward. I wouldn't mind seeing him get some power play time, because the Oilers essentially have one power play unit. Those guys stay out there for a minute 30, a minute 45 on every power play, and it's not clicking right now. So I wouldn't mind seeing maybe giving Jeff Skinner a shot on that first team power play, see what he can do maybe in place of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, because I think you got to get him confidence. You got to get him playing, and if you play with McDavid, you play with Draisaitl, he's a skilled enough player that can play with those guys, and he's smart enough to know where to go when those guys are on the ice. So, yeah, you're wasting him on a bottom 6 role. He's not going to be a checking forward for you. He's not going to go in there and be a physical guy for you. He's a guy that scores, and that's what he's done his whole career. So you got to put him in scoring situations. You got to give him the opportunity to kind of get going here. And I think, I wonder if that's, Chris Knobloch is looking at that or talking about that. But, Jeff Skinner's been up and down. He's kind of been in the doghouse a little bit. So, they want to get him going. There's a few guys that they need to get going, but he's one of them. He's a guy that they brought in. A lot of fanfare bringing in. They're probably getting him at a bargain price because he was bought out. So you got to try and make the most of it.
DVD, the Four Nations Cup it'll be here before we know it. Teams have to be announced here really quickly. Probably at the beginning of the year, there was a few Oilers names penciled in to that roster. Might be erased now. Who knows? But what are your feelings looking at the amount of games that the Oilers have played over the last 3 seasons? Is that maybe a good thing that some of these guys might find themselves off the list at that point and lower their total games played for this season, with the ultimate goal trying to get back to where they were before?
Well, we talked to both Stuart Skinner yesterday or the day before and Zach Hyman about that today. Stuart Skinner would love to play for Canada, and this guy was a name who was thrown in there. Obviously, goaltending isn't a huge strength for Canada right now. They don't have the quality goalies that maybe the United States has. So I think there's a lot of names in the mix there, and Binnington's struggling, Skinner's struggling. When you look at the numbers, you look at Aiden Hill. He's another guy that was in there. He's kind of struggling. You're kind of wondering, okay, what they're going to do. Logan Thompson's playing really well in Washington, so maybe he's worked his way into the conversation. But, they all want to be part of that team. They all want to play. They all want to represent their country. Stuart Skinner, you talked about that the other day, about wanting to represent his country, and it's a win-win for him, he says, because his wife is pregnant with her second child, is due in February. So if he goes and plays with Canada at the Four Nations, he's going to be happy about going to play Canada at the Four Nations. If he doesn't make the team, he's going to be happy that he gets to stick around with the newborn when they're born. Zach Hyman, same thing. He wants to go in there. He wants to represent his country. He's represented Canada, I said it, at an under-18 tournament, but that's pretty much it. So for him to represent Canada would be a huge deal for him. This is a guy that, obviously things aren't bouncing for him this season. He's got 3 goals. He had 54 last year. Last year, everything was going in for him. Every chance he was getting, things were bouncing in off him. Now they're not. He kind of just needs a break to get going. But you got to wonder what the body of work is for those people picking this team. Are we looking at 3 or 4 years of what you have, or are you looking at the 20 games that we've played this year? Can you play yourself off this team in 20 games, or can you play yourself on this team in 20 games? Because the tournament is not till February, so the tournament's still a ways away. They're going to name this team, so you got to wonder how much stock they put into these first 20 games. Because a lot of guys, you look at Dylan Strome in Washington, if that's the case, he may have played his way on the team, and Zach Hyman played his way off the team. So there's some tough decisions there. I think there's obviously a lot of talent, everyone would love to represent their country at this tournament. I'm looking forward to this tournament. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And, it's obviously a preview to the Olympic tournament next year. So, lots to talk about, but I think we'll see how much is weighted on this first 20 games of the season and whether or not that'll reflect on whether Zach Hyman or Stuart Skinner or even maybe Darnell Nurse kind of maybe gets a look on that team as well. So we'll see how it goes.
DVD, great stuff as always. Thank you for taking the time this afternoon. I'm sure we'll have you on next week as we won't have 6 days between our games. It'll get a lot busier for all of us here. It's going to be fun tomorrow to watch them in Utah, their first visit there, and then that's a pretty good team as well. So we'll see how they stack up. DVD, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the Cowboys game tonight. They should win this one.
They should.
I'm rooting for you,
it's going to be frustrating. Yeah, it's going to be a frustrating afternoon either way, but it'll be fun to watch. So,
all right.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
That's Derek Van Diest from NHL.com talking a little bit of Oilers, a very light practice, Gager. Like you said, it was about 20 minutes. Guys probably just getting their legs going and then on to a flight to Utah. And it's game day finally tomorrow there. Just a quick
20-minute skate. That's glorious. Those, you know what that meant for me? That was an hour skate because I'd have to be on 20 minutes before and 20 minutes after. So
yeah.
That's
I was just going to say it's 23-20 Detroit Lions leading the Chicago Bears about 3 minutes to go in that one. So it's turned out to be a pretty good game, Gager. So we'll see if Chicago can pull up the upset. We know our guy Dustin Nielsen is watching this game as his Lions are red hot and they're good finally for the big guy. I do want to get to a few texts before we get to a break. Brussels, bacon, and maple. Damn, from Bobby LaFrench talking about sides for good old Thanksgiving. And Uncle Jesse also chimes in and says, the Oilers won 8-2 the last time the Taylor Hall had a hat trick. So I do not remember that, Gager. I mean, when you get to be our age, I can't think that far back, and I don't remember that. But I was like when Taylor Hall got traded, I'll admit it, I was heartbroken, Gager. He was my favorite player at the time, yeah.
Jeez, that's weird because he wasn't mine.
No, he was not your favorite player, Gager. We all know that. Gager was not fond of him. I remember that from two guys in a goalie. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. NHL lives at the CBH with Thursday Night Football and your chance to win a trip to an NFL home opener of your choice. $1 off tankards of Bud Light and Budweiser. Details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Coming up next, it's everybody's favorite segment and favorite opening song. It's the Red Light District with Joaquin Gage. It's EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. Here is Zach with a sports update.
In the NFL, the Bears trail 23-20 late in the fourth quarter against the Lions before we see the Giants hit the field with the Cowboys and the Dolphins battle the Packers. You can join Lieutenant Eric for Thursday night football action at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge with kickoff at 6:20. And according to EST's very own Jason Milne, former Stamps assistant head coach and longtime special teams coordinator, Mark Killam is the leading name for the vacant Elks head coach position. There's no games in the NHL today with the Oilers facing the Utah HC tomorrow night. The WHL sees 10 games, including the Oil Kings meeting with the Hitmen. And the Canadian men's soccer team will end the year at a team best 31st in the FIFA World Rankings. Canada's previous best was back in 2022 at 33rd. The Red Light District is just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Black Friday at FXR Edmonton is the place to shop for the best deals of the year.
Whether you're looking for snowmobile apparel, riding gear, workwear, or a new jacket for looking stylish around town,
FXR Edmonton is the place to be. Doorcrasher deals up to 80% off, and the entire store is on sale, so don't miss out.
the best deals of the year. Black Friday at FXR Edmonton, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Come see us at 324 Mayfield Common.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too. Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road Park.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body to the night.
Joaquin.
You don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin. 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 It's 1:45. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Text us 780-218-9999 as we're Zach and I are live here at the William Hub Studios. Joaquin is live from the Gager Studios in the south side of the city. Gager, my man, it's your time to shine. It's the Red Light District with Joaquin Gage.
Yeah, well, I'm probably going to be looking for a little help on this one. Because it's we talked about, you just mentioned how old we are and we forget things, and you really start realizing how old you are is when your offspring get to it. Like I'm going to have a 16-year-old daughter tomorrow. Yeah. So, like, her birthday's tomorrow. So, but I also got a peculiar text from my son today, who asked, he's because we have a dog and I love dogs, but I am not a cat person. Okay. All right. And I think my son kind of is, for some weird reason, that he likes cats. So he sent me this list of, because I'm allergic to him. And he had this list of non-allergenic cats that he could, and he said he would buy this cat with his own money. And he'll be fully responsible. We'll put the litter box in the basement and I will clean it. I will do everything. And then when I move out, I will take the cat with me. And okay, so there's a lot to unpack right here. Right? Yeah. Like I asked him to clean a dish, and you would have thought I was asking him to develop like a way to get to Mars in a couple hours, right? Like it was. And can you clean that? All right. Like my hesitation of cat droppings in a litter box downstairs, that thing's going to be wafting up the stairs like crazy. Right. And for some reason, cats know that I hate them. So what do? They all come around me. Yeah. Like they're all over me. Like I've had in my former life as a installer or an in-home technician with Shaw, I had such bad experiences with cats. Like they'd either like jump off some high shelf onto my head. Like that happened 3 times. And usually where I'm working where I was working in a house, the litter box was situated right beside there.
Yeah.
And how many times the cat went down there for give me a little company while it was, playing with its stuff in that litter box and just dropping chow in there. Like I find them just absolutely disgusting. So I sent back, like, my son outlined all the steps that he's going to do in this text, and I just sent him the GIF back of in Austin Powers, Dr. Evil coming over and just saying, "How about no?" and so I don't know what this is going to, but look, and plus he says he'll take the cat when he's going to eventually move out. Dude, I don't see this guy leaving in the next 15 years. So I'm like, I don't, if you had your bags packed and stuff, maybe, have this thing for a week, but this is a lot of time with this cat. So I don't know if there's other parents out there with pre-adult children still in their house with that, that light at the end of the tunnel. It's getting a little bit brighter. There's still a ways to go here, but look, there's some points in life that you just have to say no to your kids, and this is definitely one of those times.
Okay, so he's not buying it without like you and your wife's permission, pretty much.
Well, we better not, because that thing's going to learn how to live outside. There are a ton of coyotes around here.
How does the wife feel about it?
Oh, she wrote back, and I think a way better explanation than I did. But it was more along the lines of your father's. You know how your father feels about cats.
Yeah.
Like this is not going to go well.
Well,
So,
there's a few things here, Gage, for me. You have a wonderful dog. Dogs are the best. I'm with you. I'm not a cat guy. They freak me out. I grew up with a buddy, and I used to be at his place all the time, and he'd like, "Hey, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom," and his cat would jump on the table and just stare at me like this close, freak me out. So I'm kind of freaked out by cats. They're a little bit weird, but you got to think about the relationship between the dog and cat too.
yeah, he might eat it. He
might not
won't, but he'd probably scare it, and that. But I don't want him to feel scared if this cat's around, this hairless cat. Plus those things are just disgusting. They look like a chicken cutlet, with eyes. Like, come on.
There's
You're
that
not getting that thing.
There's that Friends episode when Rachel buys a cat because she had one. It had no hair on it, and it looked like I can't remember what they called it, but it was it did not look like a cat, Gager. No, that's.
The thing that gets me most is cats. I mean, if I passed out, that thing's probably going to start looking at me like food, right? My dog will lay with me and watch me decompose for months.
Yeah.
If I pass away, that thing's just waiting for the first chance to sink its teeth into me. They're untrustworthy animals.
Jimbo says, "Don't do it, Gager." Joel says, "Yeah, you'll get attached." Jody says, "We have 3 cats, 2 dogs, and a snake." World of Pets at my house. Holy smokes. Bears down 3 with just over a minute left. Yeah, we want to hear from the nasties here. What would you recommend? Like, Gager, 1, you're allergic, right?
Allergic, yeah.
Okay.
Sneezing like crazy.
2, you got to think about your dog. That's his home. He was the first one there. Why should he be uncomfortable or scared? Mm-hmm. He might not. I mean, he's probably so friendly. He's gonna.
He probably would love it. Yeah.
But like you said, the cat might be unpredictable and scratch the poor little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then, like, let's say your son does move out, and he goes, "Yeah, I'll come get the cat someday."
Yeah. Hey, you know what? My place, they don't allow pets.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. No. That thing. No. Yeah. There's just no way. There's absolutely no way. I can't do it.
Would you take another dog?
See, that's even tough for me too, because again, the promises is what gets me with the children. There's always, "Dad, I'll do it. Don't worry, I'll do this. I'll
take him for a walk."
Yeah. That is. I got to get this stuff in writing. With get it notarized too, because there was a lot of promises with this dog, and who do you think's walking this thing all the time?
Yeah.
And I see people walking 2 dogs. It is miserable. It is absolutely miserable. You got stuff, you got bags everywhere. One's pooping here, one's yelling. The leashes get all stuck together. Not doing it. I'm a one pet man.
What are the benefits of a cat? They're pretty they're alone. They like being alone. Do you know what I mean? Like I think Zach wants to chime in. Go ahead, Zach.
I'm getting fired up. You guys hate cats?
Yes.
And I've only grown up with cats, I must say. And they are very independent. Like, for me, if I were to get an animal, I would get a cat because I'm lazy. I would never go walk a dog. I mean, if I had a dog, I'd love it enough to want to walk it, but you don't have to do that with a cat. And they kind of just do their own thing, but they come crawling at you whenever they feel like loving you.
Yeah.
So I understand why you guys like your dogs, like having dogs, because they'll love you no matter what. But like cats is kind of like, oh, no, I'm not feeling it today, no. And then they'll claw you, like very different creatures.
Yeah, they're not cuddly, right? Like Zach says, they only want love when they want it, right? Like where dogs, I mean, dogs will take cuddles anytime, no matter who it is, when it is. Like dogs are just the best.
The key thing there is easy. It's easy to have a cat. Like, no, it's not easy. There's food to buy. There's vet bills. There's all this other stuff. It's peeing in corners. You ever smell cat piss? That's vile. That is some of the most vile, disgusting smells ever. I can't not, and I just don't understand how people can have a Tupperware full of sand and poop in their house. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Now,
doesn't make sense.
Did you ever have a cat growing up as a kid?
Never.
No? So cats have never been in your life?
No.
We are getting a ton here. This one, No Name, says, don't give in. Kids are savage and will tell you what you want to hear. They will never take care of it.
No, they won't.
Rob from LA says, don't get a cat. We have a couple. One has been great. The other one is the devil. Scratches everything, wakes you up. Just an a-hole.
And look, I saved a cat. Well, I didn't see, he died, but I did save a cat earlier on this year. And well, kinda. It was going to die anyway, but I've done my fair share of helping a cat. They're disgusting. Just
Gregor says cats go number 1 and 2 in a box, then go walk all over your counters, pillows, and lap. So gross.
Yeah. Like they're poop feet everywhere.
Yeah. And then Jason in the Duke says, I only let my wife have a cat because I hate mice more. That's a good point.
Get a trap, dude. Sticky traps. Get rid of those things too.
Oh, man, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah, a lot of people are telling you not to do it. Don't get a cat, Gager, and doggies only from Smitty the Welder. Easy E says, what about a smelly cat?
Oh, Jesus. They're all smelly cats.
And then Waddy in Cloverdale sent in a GIF of Dr. Evil holding that hairless cat. Nelson Packer.
It's absolutely. They both have them, him and Mini Me, when they have both the hairless cats. God, they're just... Yeah.
And then
you know what they look like.
Almost every house with cats I've been to smells. Easy. So I don't know that. I don't know that many people with cats. So
there was only one place that I couldn't, like, I saw all these cats in a house and I thought, oh my gosh, this place is going to reek somewhere. Yeah. And but they had like a spaceship a litter box. Like there was a fan going, like it was actually like filtering out the smell of this thing. Yeah, but even then I was surprised because it was quite full, this litter box, and you couldn't really, but you could, there's still that little hint of kitty litter. It's just makes me want to puke.
Well, the good thing is it seems like you're well respected in your home and you're the boss, and it's good that the wife's backing you up as well. So looks like your son will not be buying a cat this winter. Yeah. Let's hope not, because if he does, I mean, that Red Light District episode is going to be epic because Gager's going to be very angry, probably full of you're going to have to buy the what is it called, Benadryl or whatever. I'm gonna. You have another room, don't you? Quick update on the football game. The Bears are on the 26-yard line of the Lions. 43 seconds to go. They're down by 3. It's going to be a great finish here. Maybe some OT, Gager. Maybe some OT. Also, we're at 39. Dougie Wait, thumbs up. Let's bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Those are September numbers when we just started, Gager. We weren't even asking for thumbs up at that point, but Please hammer the thumbs up if you're watching on the EST YouTube channel. Keep the text coming in at 780-218-9999 and hit us up on the Nasty Chat. You know what we're going to do? Because in the second hour, we will be joined by Davis Alexander at 2:30. It's going to be a fun conversation. The quarterback for the Montreal Alouettes, fresh off signing a 3-year extension. We're going to do the keyword right now, Gager, just so it's easier for our guy, Zach, here. It's the last one. I'm a little emotional right now. It's the last one. We started this in early October. Back then, Gage, we were like, holy smokes, this is going to be a long ways to go. But we have arrived. Tomorrow on the morning show, Dusty and Eric will call our winner for the EST Flyaway to LA, which is proudly presented by the 780. The 780 is a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations: Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. And for the final time this year, Gager, you want to take a guess what the keyword is?
Feline?
No. Today is November 28th. All right. So get out your phones. Get ready to text 780-218-9999. The key word for today is Venice. 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 Text that in. And for the last time on EST Afternoons, Zachticum will pick one of the final qualifiers for the EST Flyaway to LA, which is proudly presented by the 780. On the other side of the break, we'll continue the Oilers, CFL, NFL talk, as well as Davis Alexander, quarterback of the Montreal Alouettes, will join us at 2:30. Keep hammering that thumbs up, please, and thank you. We're back with EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
In life, it takes a village. From childhood to your golden years, we all need support. At Capital Care Foundation, we've built that village for our 2,100 seniors. Join us in creating a nurturing environment that feels like home and fosters community connections. Your donation makes a difference. Visit capitalcarefoundation.net today and become a vital part of our village. Because together, we can make every stage of life a shared journey. Be a part of the journey. Support Capital Care Foundation.
The NFL sees 3 games today, with one just ending between the Lions and the Bears in a tight one, with the Lions winning 23-20. Later, it's the Giants with the Cowboys and the Dolphins kicking off against the Packers, where you can join Lieutenant Eric for the action down at the Century Casino Sports Barn Lounge on Fort Road for 6:20 kickoff. And according to EST's very own Jason Milne, Mark Killam, former special teams coordinator and assistant head coach for the Stampeders, is a leading candidate for the vacant Elks head coach position. And the NHL has an off day with the Oilers in Utah tomorrow, while the Oil Kings hit the ice tonight with the Hitmen out in Calgary on a 10-game WHL slate. FIFA has placed the Canadian men's soccer team at 31st in the world standings to end the year. This is the highest ranking Canada has received, with 33 being the previous best back in 2022. EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
Hour 2 of EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Coop Daddy in the house, playing the tunes. And what did we just witness in this NFL game? My gosh, the Bears. Oh, my. Who do you blame here? Like the quarterback or the coach? Because
quarterback.
Both, Maddie says. How do you not rush that? Or how do you not just call a damn timeout, Gager?
But what did he? They needed 12 yards. There was two guys on his checkdowns that he could have just thrown the ball to. You got to get the ball out of your hands when there's that much time left. Like, that's ridiculous.
So he gets sacked, kind of taken out of field goal range with 33 seconds left, Gager. They didn't get the playoff until 7 seconds left in the game, and he goes long.
Oh my God!
Oh boy!
That's the Charlie Lindgren right there. Just bury it. Bury it in your own net. He Lindgrened himself right there.
Holy smokes! Box Pounder says Bears got a bear. Spency 5 cents. Why not kick the field exactly, or have a play ready and just run it up, get a little bit closer, and then take your time out and kick the damn field goal.
Yeah.
Or call a play to the sideline early, or snap that ball with 25 seconds left or 20. And these quarterbacks in the NFL are good enough to hit an out. And if it connects, perfect. If not, there's no damage done. But my, oh my, our Bears fans. Imagine how they're feeling right now, Gager.
Wow. Like everyone's sitting there full of mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, maybe some cranberries. I like them. Maybe you don't. But that would not sit well.
Oh, and Lions fans are going to be Bears fans are going to be upset. Lions fans are celebrating right now. And they're probably giggling a little bit too, Gager, because what we just witnessed was absolutely amazing. That head coach, I know he's been on the hot seat all season.
He's not.
I follow a few of their media guys, and even they're fed up with this team, and I can't imagine what they're tweeting right now.
He's like a cat in my house, out the door.
It's Eber. I can't remember his name though, but like Jared Payton, the son of the great Walter Payton, says, "You got to be kidding me! Come on, Cole, you know better than that, bro."
Yeah, like come on,
like it's outstanding what happened there. Definitely led to some interesting decisions to be made in Chicago. Lars says, beat the spread. Yes. Big Maple says, Dusty probably needs an early re-up on the inhaler. Yeah, no doubt about it. Zach's working on her qualifier as yet to text in the word Venice for your last chance on EST Afternoons to qualify for the trip that we'll be giving away tomorrow, the EST flyaway to LA. And your next chance will be on the Reed Wilkins Show. And then that's it, guys. That is it. So as soon as Zach has someone, but Gager, I'm going to throw some weird things at you that's happened in the NHL, and I want you to tell me if you're surprised or not on Thanksgiving Day, because it's a big day when it comes to hockey, because it's, will they make the playoffs? Will they not? Yeah. So the first one, you surprised that Martin Necas of the Carolina Hurricanes leads the NHL in points with 37?
You know, maybe it would surprise me, but then what we saw from him in the game here is like, how doesn't he lead the league in scoring? Like, he is, he's quick, strong, great shot. I think in the second he rang one off the bar. He made that incredible third goal where he looked like a wide receiver pulling that down and then going like very. You know, there's a lot of people say the thing about the Carolina Hurricanes is they don't have superstars, but I extremely disagree with that. With Necas, Aho, and there's one more guy, the Russian player, Svechnikov. Like those, that is nasty hockey players right there.
They might not be superstars, Gager, but I think they're stars.
See, this is what we talked about too. Like I asked that question. Obviously, it had to do with when the Oilers were kind of, well, they're not out of it yet, but they weren't playing to their potential. And then after watching that game and seeing the level of consistency on both sides of the puck with all those players that we mentioned from the Carolina Hurricanes. And I get it. With your stars, they do get a little bit of leeway on the offensive side of things to generate, right? But and it is a very difficult way to play throughout the 82 game schedule, that grinding kind of style. But I just think there has to be a little bit more of a commitment of that style of play to a man throughout the whole lineup, right? Well, it's funny when we watch Edmonton Oilers. Sometimes we say everyone thinks they're McDavid. You know, like what everyone's trying to do these little sauce play and all these things. There's only a couple guys on that team that should be doing those on a regular basis. Not everyone, right? And I don't know, when you watch that, and I know it hasn't worked out with that Carolina team, but in the playoffs, but God, I love the way that they play.
Yeah, we'll get back to Martin Necas here shortly, as we do have our final qualifier on EST afternoons. Who are we speaking to, Zach?
Tracy.
Tracy, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Well, congratulations for being one of the final qualifiers for the EST flyaway to LA. If you do win this trip tomorrow morning, who would you be taking with you, Tracy?
Oh, my good friend, probably Tanya and Chris.
Okay, nice. And you'll get to watch an NBA, an NFL, and the Oilers in Anaheim or LA. It would be Clippers, Warriors from the Intuit Dome, and then Rams, Cardinals. Of those three leagues games, which one would you be most excited to go watch?
Well, personally, the NFL game, but Chris would be the Oilers.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of the games. All three will be fantastic, especially Rams Cardinals, because they're fighting for playoffs right now. The Intuit Dome is a spectacle in itself, and of course, watching the Oilers would be absolutely fantastic. Well, Tracy, make sure you're tuning in to the morning show tomorrow. Have your phone on, and hopefully your name is called tomorrow morning. All the best.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, that's Tracy, our final qualifier, Gager. Our final qualifier on EST afternoons. The winner will get a flight for 2 to LA with hotel and rental car. The trip is from Boxing Day until the 30th of December. You would, watch Warriors, Clippers, Rams, Cardinals, and the Oilers in either Anaheim or LA. And the EST Flyaway is proudly presented by the 780. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. Your final chance to qualify coming up from 3 to 6 with Reed Wilkins and Jay Milne. They got a fun show as well. They'll have Dylan Gunther from the Utah Hockey Club and Tevin Jones from the Edmonton Elks wide receiver, who had an excellent season when he joined the Green and Gold. Just ahead of Davis Alexander, quarterback for the Montreal Alouettes. But we were talking about the kind of things that are happening as we've reached U.S. Thanksgiving. We're talking about, are you surprised Martin Necas leads the NHL in points with 37? I think you can say yes, you're slightly surprised, but Gager, this guy's been trending in the right direction for the last couple of years. 71 points 2 years ago, 53, a little bit down last year, but right back up this year. So I think this guy's getting into that star category, and hopefully he can keep this up. And you know why I love him? He's on my fantasy team, and he's absolutely killing it right now. So are you surprised, listeners? Are you surprised, Nassies? Martin Necas is leading the NHL at U.S. Thanksgiving. I'll say it, I am. How about this one? Pius Suter is leading the Canucks in goals. Surprised or no? I am.
Yeah, that's... He shouldn't. I mean, there's been some injuries. Obviously, Miller's out. Besser's been out for a while. Just got back. That'll probably change.
They just
anytime.
lost Heronic.
Yeah. And I think it's Höglander hasn't scored in like 16 games or something like that too. So not everything's going. The Canucks kind of mirror the Oilers in a sense where. I don't know if they're not doing obviously as well as last year, but they do have injuries and some of their key components of their team are out right now.
Yeah. So I think that's a little bit surprising. He is tied with Pettersson, but like you said, they've had some injuries. They kind of been up and down like the Oilers. Gager, but I did not see Suter being up there. Now, it's only 7 goals, but still a little bit surprising. Connor Bedard, Gager, scored his first goal last night in the month of November. He sits at 4 goals total. Surprised or not?
Am I surprised? I guess, yeah, I guess you could say I'm a little bit surprised. I thought that there would be a little bit more of a setback this year, that so-called sophomore slump with players. He's 19 years old. A lot of times you come into the league, you catch guys off guard a little bit. Look at Matty Beniers in Seattle, right? I think that his name is circled a lot more before games on the opposing team's board, and they're paying a little bit more attention to him. Everyone realized, you hear about the shot and how he can get it off. So now he's not getting the same amount of time and space anymore because he doesn't need a lot. So that's things that they're doing better against him. And he's probably, he wants to improve on the previous year. Whatever. Guys that can say it all the time about the Four Nations things, but he's been hearing about this for probably the good portion of the last 2 years. He wants to be on this team, and that's in the back of his mind a little bit, and having to perform, just putting that a little bit extra pressure on themselves. No one puts more pressure on, as a hockey player, no one puts more pressure on you than yourself in those situations, right? And so, if you were to ask me around this time, I would say that he would probably be more closer to, that maybe that 7 to 10 goal mark rather than where he's at right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sophomore slump, Gager. It's a real thing in the NHL. We've seen it with a bunch of players, man. And you talk about Matty Beniers. He's not having a great season in Seattle. And like you make a good point. Like, they're honing in on him. Bedard, he's not on a very good team either, but to not score 1 goal this month so far, and there's only a few days left, and to sit at 4 is kind of interesting, though. He's going to be fine, Gager. Like, this is not going to ruin him.
Yeah,
but
I think he fits into, can he get to a star level? I think so. Superstar, I think it's going to be tough for him. Basically just because of the competition that he's going to have to go up against. He needs someone else to take the pressure off, right? He needs that duo type of thing where he's got a guy that I don't know what type of situation. Maybe a first name that comes to mind is it like a Backstrom that can play with him, like a guy, a really good facilitator of the puck.
Well, Taylor Hall. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Jesus, would you stop? I'll leave right now.
You just turn your camera off. A big question mark.
That's it.
I just think think
Taylor Hall stuff.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I think it's a classic sophomore slump, and I think he'll find his groove eventually. He's gonna have a month where he's gonna go off. We all know that. So let's move on. Did you say you were surprised or not surprised? Not surprised, right?
Not surprised.
Okay. The Calgary Flames are 2nd in the Pacific Division. Surprised or not?
They're just getting our EST bump, I think, buddy. Like we said, this team isn't as bad as you think it is. You look at their lineup, it's quite well balanced, man. Yeah. They got a good mixture right now. It's weird, but you know what? I think the biggest thing with the Calgary Flames is they arguably have 2 number 1 D-men. Yeah. With Weegar and Anderson. That's huge.
That's good.
That's really, really good. You have 2 really good D-men, and basically one of them is on the ice for the entire game, which is a benefit. And then you're getting Vladar and Dustin Wolf are shooting the lights out right now, man. They're getting really, really good goaltending. So you add those components into the mixture, gives everyone a little bit more confidence that you have great defenders. You have a goalie that, if you make a mistake, he's usually there to cover it up. Gives players a little bit more freedom to play, not just worrying about on the defensive side. So I know they haven't scored a lot, but look, I think they're going to be scrappy all year long. We talk about this. I don't know. I see people say they might drop off. I don't see it now. There's too much confidence with that team, I think, for them to drop off completely. Will they be in the top 3 in the Pacific? I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think they will be clawing around that wild card spot for sure.
I'm not surprised I'm surprised they're second in the Pacific. I'm not surprised because I'm not surprised that they're right there with all the other expected playoff teams, because like you, Gage, I thought they were taking a lot of heat, but I don't think their roster's as bad as many think. And you make a great point. They have 2 guys that would be number 1 defensemen on a lot of teams. And that goes a long way, and you're getting goaltending, and you just got a bunch of, what did they say, angry bastards that
they got a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, they've heard it all, man.
So you have a team in Edmonton that everyone's telling them how great they are over the summer and how they're going to get back, to a team like Calgary asking, are you guys going to tank this year? Are you going to sell all your players off and hopefully get some draft picks and be good in 4 years? Like, you're as a player, you take offense to that. You want to be a difference maker, man. And I mean, 23 games, 12 wins, 7 losses. The only thing is the scoring. That's going to be tough when things start really clamping down, and as the season rolls on, the defense gets tighter and tighter. Guys get better and better.
Yeah.
Because it's the differential's -1 right now, right? So, but they're winning. That's scary too, because they're winning on the strength of their goalies and stuff. Who knows? They've got a lot of room to. They might be buyers closer to the deadline than anything else at this point, right? It'd be interesting to talk to Conroy and see where his view was at the start of training camp till now. I'm sure it's changed.
And I see a lot of media saying, but they'll be knocked out in the first round, and again, they won't have a top pick. But that playoff money from one round is enough for these guys that own the team, and it's.
Well, so let's look. Who would they be playing if the playoffs started tomorrow? So they're playing, who is it? Colorado, I believe.
Yeah.
So they'd be playing Colorado, where let's look at the lineups. It'd be tough to beat Colorado if they're all going, but the one place that Calgary for sure gets the check mark is in goal right now.
Yeah.
Colorado's desperate for a goaltender. They're actually talking about getting Vladar, right? So, I mean, if Calgary, I'm not right now, I'm not trading Vladar to the Avalanche, right? And the possible matchup at that point, coming back to Calgary, I wouldn't want to do that at all. So, who knows? Maybe they're looking for something else.
And the last one here, the Oilers would have 3 defensemen in their top 5 when it comes to points in 22 games into the season, Gager. Surprised or not?
That's
You're surprised.
Yeah, that blew my hair off thinking about that.
So
when I saw that, it was crazy with when you look on paper and tell me that. Imagine if you had that on a cool bet thing.
Holy smokes.
We'd be doing this from a beach.
But with guys like Jeff Skinner, Victor Arvidsson, Nugent Hopkins, Zach Hyman, throw Adam Enrique in there, sure. Everybody's favorite Pod Colson. You would have told anyone in the summer that the Oilers' top 5 goal scorers, 3 of them would be defensemen. You'd be like, get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here. Yeah, stop it.
We've been joined by the WSTers, the Hustlerites. So let's talk good about the Winnipeg Jets right now. Best team. They had a tough one in LA yesterday, but I mean, you're due to have one of those games, Gager. I mean, Winnipeg's a wagon. They went into Minnesota and beat that team. I know Matt Hyman just said the Jets tried to get Martin Necas in the offseason. Imagine that if they would have gone. Because I think it was for I think the rumors were it would have been for Ehlers. And I mean, right now, I like Ehlers, but Necas is just on a different level right now.
Those are 2 really good players. I don't know, man. It's kind of apples for apples. I know he's leading the league in points, right? But those are 2 guys that transport the puck really well, good passers, consistently good on the defensive side. I guess Necas is a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But Ehlers has been a killer to when the Oilers have played the Winnipeg Jets, especially in the playoffs. He's been an Oiler killer. So I don't know. I'd have to really, really think about that move. And I know Ehlers was kind of they were talking about trading him last year and even a little bit of the year before. It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and for all our Hustlerites out there that are tuned into the show, we have Davis Alexander coming up from the Montreal Alouettes in the next segment. Hit the thumbs up. Let's get to 100. We need your help. It's been a little slow the last couple of days on the thumbs up, so if you can hit the thumbs up, it'd be greatly appreciated. Final little segment here. We were talking about things that, whether you're surprised or not, that have approached us on U.S. Thanksgiving. Nick Ash leads the NHL in points with 37. Pius Suter leads the Canucks in goals with 7. Connor Bedard, 1 goal in November and 4 on the season so far. The Calgary Flames being second in the Pacific Division, and the Oilers' top 5 goal scorers on the season, 3 of them are defensemen. It's just bizarre, Gager. Absolutely bizarre. And let us know if Gager should let his son get a cat. They already have a dog. Gager's allergic. He's scared of cats as well. But should he be a good dad and just let his son bring home a cat? So let us know on the inbox at 780-218-9999 or on the EST Nasty Chat. Once again, big shout out to Tracy, our final qualifier for the EST Flyaway to LA, which is presented by the 780. You'll have one more opportunity coming up on the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne from 3 to 6. And like I mentioned earlier, they also have an awesome guest list. Tevin Jones from the Edmonton Elks and Dylan Gunther, former Edmonton Oil King and now with the Utah Hockey Club, will join their program. Up next, it will be Davis Alexander from the Montreal Alouettes here on EST Afternoons. It's Joaquin Gage, it's Hernan Salas, and here is Zach with a sports update.
In the NFL, the Bears dropped a tight 23-20 decision to the Lions. Later, we see the Giants hit the field with the Cowboys and the Dolphins battle the Packers. Join Lieutenant Eric for Thursday night football action at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge with kickoff at 6:20. And according to EST's very own Jay Milne, former Stamps assistant head coach and longtime special teams coordinator Mark Killam is the leading name for the vacant Elks head coach position. There's no NHL games today with the Oilers facing the Utah HC tomorrow night. And the WHL sees 10 games today, including the Oil Kings meeting with the Calgary Hitmen. The Canadian men's soccer team will end the year at a team best 31st in the FIFA World Rankings. Canada's previous best was back in 2022 at 33rd in the world. Just after the break, Davis Alexander from the Alouettes joins Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
It's 2:28 here on EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios. Zach and I, Gage are from his home as he's getting over a little bit of a cold this week, but better to be safe and not get the rest of the boys sick. We're just ahead of Davis Alexander from the Montreal Alouettes. Krager says Gager's already being a great dad by saying no to allowing a cat in its home. Lucky Charlie says Flames are going to flame, perennial bubble team that's never good enough to win a cup, never bad enough to win a draft. And that's the consensus that we get a lot when it comes to the Calgary Flames, Gager, which is, I mean, it's fair, but I mean, every team wants to go to the playoffs, Gager. No one starts the season off saying, we're going to, looking for a draft pick. If it happens that way, it happens. And I think some teams are more realistic, like San Jose, Chicago. They're like, hey, we're going to say all the right things, but we know we're probably going to be on the outside looking in when it's all said and done. Where Calgary, I think, is in kind of a balance where, like, we don't know where to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, especially owners. They want some playoff
exactly.
dates, right?
Yeah.
No, they're a fascinating team to me because, like you said, but I'm not. I have to brush up on this year's draft. I'm not sure that there's real. Is there anyone that can really step into a lineup and make a difference? Right. We're looking at Macklin Celebrini, and I saw someone in the nasty chat saying Celebrini will be better than Bedard within a few years. Right.
Yeah.
So it's such a crapshoot. Like, how many drafts can you go back and look at certain players that were picked higher that you would definitely swap for someone that was picked like 5, 6 picks later. So, I mean, if I'm a GM of a National Hockey League team, I'm putting the onus on my scouting staff to, okay, this is where we are. Let's make sure we get a guy that's probably not going to step in right away, but 2-3 years is a serviceable player or a great asset that we can use.
Yeah, I know for sure. We're just waiting for Davis to call into the show. Keep hammering that thumbs up. We're at 59. Let's get to 100. We got about 30 minutes. If you're watching and haven't, just go to the thumbs up and press it and get more eyes on the show as well. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can do so as well. Gage, I got to get to the hot takes from the morning today. It was not a good performance by our buddy YouTube Trev. Eric was hilarious. He had 2 really funny ones. Was it always Eric right off the hop with Tommy and Dusty Spangler and Bozone live hit?
Yeah, the Bozone one was solid. That made me laugh. But I think it was Eric's first one where Dusty couldn't get through his because he was laughing. Like that, I take that into account, right? You can't laugh at someone else's take, or if it's that good, it's causing the next guy to delay, even if his take is out of sight. You're stealing your own thunder from your own take by laughing so hard. So yeah, it was a no-brainer today. Eric was definitely awesome. Go see it tonight at Centric Casino. I think he's bringing the mitt with.
I feel for you too, Trev, because I know how hard it is to come up with takes, and those 2 guys are brilliant. They've been doing it for years, and I think Trev just threw in the towel today and just went with like some raw emotion in his takes because they were mostly just statements.
Yeah, there was absolutely no effort to be either inquisitive or funny or anything. Like he said he doesn't care about the Four Nations Cup. Like I almost took marks away from him with that take.
Yeah. Are we good to go? All right. Our big guest of the day is Montreal Alouettes quarterback Davis Alexander, fresh off signing a 3-year contract extension. He met with the media today down there in Montreal, and we're very happy to be joined by Davis Alexander. Davis, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing excellent. First off, you signed a 3-year contract extension. You have a big role with the club here going forward. Just what did this contract extension mean for you and your family?
Yeah, I mean, we were, absolutely ecstatic about it. Just so thankful for the organization, thankful for them obviously making this commitment, showing their belief in me. And yeah, we're thrilled to be a part of it. And we feel like we're going to have a pretty good squad next year. So we'll be ready to go.
Davis, first off, congratulations on the new deal. That's tremendously exciting. What does it do for you personally going into the off season now? The team has made that much of a commitment to you. Does that change any of your preparation of going into next year's season and hopefully getting back to a Grey Cup final?
Necessarily. I'm gonna train the same way every off season, regardless of whether you're the starter or not. Your job, especially in this league, your job is always sought after, and it can be so fast, right? Maybe one minor change is hopefully the guys out. Some of the guys out to train with me for about a week in Scottsdale, where I train in the off season. But kind of a similar thing that like Bert does with his guys. That's maybe one small change we might make this year.
Davis, can you speak on this past season? You were 4-0. I know one of the CFL reporters said you should have been 5-0, but you came in and you didn't miss a beat. You look like a vet out there. You look like a legit starter. Can you just talk to us about those 4 starts and why you were so good in them? Like, was it the prep? Was it being around Cody Fajardo? Just you looked really, really good last season.
Well, thank you. I mean, Cody. I can't speak enough on how much Cody has helped me. All those guys, but obviously, Trevor, Vernon, but Cody in particular. These past 2 years, he's helped me. He helped me get acclimated to this Coach Moss system. Just his preparation. I was kind of on his hip at all times. So he helped me so much. And I think just when you got a team. With the caliber of guys we have on our team, you look at our receiving core, you look at our defense. Our O-line was really good this year. I would say it's hard to not be great and just fill in. When you have this talent around you, right? So forever thankful for the guys I get to go out there with, and especially this coaching staff as well. AC, Coach Moss. They've helped with my development so much.
You mentioned Coach Moss helping. What's it like having a former quarterback as your head coach? Is there, obviously he has a different hat, but can you approach him with maybe it's different situations or just the mindset of a QB? Is there any sort of conversations with you and Moss that help you prepare and get ready for games?
Yeah, Coach Moss, as you said, he played the position. He knows how hard the position is. But the great thing about Coach Moss is, he kind of shoots it straight to you, right? He doesn't shower you with rainbows and flowers. And, that's the way I like it. I want him to tell me how I can actually be better for this team and how I can be a better individual, right? And then, actually Coach Moss is, he was in that kind of 2 quarterback system with Ricky Ray and himself, and actually Danny Machocha was the head coach, right, in Edmonton. So he kind of helped, he helped talk to me about some stuff with that. And, he's been great for me and great towards me. So I can't thank him enough.
Davis Alexander, Montreal Alouettes quarterback, fresh off signing a 3-year contract extension. He met with the media down there today in Montreal. Davis, we always like to ask players this question. Like, when did you first hear about the CFL? I know you came in, I think your first year was 2022. Just kind of when you first came up, how much did you hear about the CFL when you got here? What parts of the game kind of opened your eyes and saying, "Wow, this is different"?
Yeah, I'm a huge football fan, huge sports fan. I remember, kind of during our summer training, right, in college. You'd come home and you'd flip on the TV, and sometimes you'd see. I vividly remember seeing Bo Levi Mitchell in Calgary, and I always kind of followed. We had a couple guys from Portland State that ended up in the CFL for a little bit, but so I always kind of was aware of it, and I always knew it as a possibility with scouts coming by our school and stuff. And really, I grew up loving Johnny Manziel. I loved his competitive fire. I loved the way he played. I loved his mobility and the way he kept plays alive. So, as soon as I saw him in Hamilton and Montreal, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then as far as rules and stuff like that, and the differences, I thought obviously the waggle is a little different because as a quarterback, you've never done it before. You kind of look around and you want to make sure that your guys are running to the line of scrimmage as you're getting your cadence down. So it took me a while to get used to, hey, those guys, it's their job to get there too, and you don't have to, worry about breaking your neck, looking to your left and right to see if they're going to get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Go ahead, Joaquin.
Davis, I just we had a discussion earlier, you being from down south, we're talking about sides for Thanksgiving dinner. Can you we came up with mashed potatoes and stuffing if you're going to pick two. First of all, are you crushing some turkey right now? And two, what's your go-to sides for Thanksgiving?
Okay. I'm not crushing turkey right now, unfortunately. I had a pretty long day. I actually just got back from the facility, from press conferences and all that type of stuff and interviews. So we're not celebrating Thanksgiving here right now. But my two sides. All right. Oh man, you're pretty spot on. I mean, I'm not going to say you're wrong with mashed potatoes and stuffing. I would probably go mashed potato. Macaroni's number one for me. Macaroni's got to be in there. And then it's between mashed potatoes and stuffing. And then I'll give you one wild card. I'm huge on deviled eggs for Thanksgiving.
So
okay. That's my wild card side for you.
Perfect. Davis, just a couple more for you here. You look around the CFL and you got the veteran quarterbacks and the Zach Claros, the VAs, and then you got the younger crop, yourself included, Trey Ford, Nathan Rourke. It's been like lately in the CFL, there's a great crop of CFL quarterbacks. How do you look at it, and how does that make you better as a quarterback, knowing you have to compete every game with top quality QBs here in the CFL?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fantastic for the league. And again, honestly, I truthfully wouldn't want it any other way. I want to go against the best. I want to always prove that I can be the best. I mean, I think my very first start was against Bo Levi Mitchell, and I thought that was, kind of one of the coolest things because I know what a legendary career he's had and continued to have, obviously, throughout this year as well. Being a MLP final candidate. So. I love that stuff, and all those guys have been so nice to me and so great to me, especially during the tough times I had. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, and I think it's awesome for the league.
Awesome, Davis. And just one last one. There's 3 games in the NFL, as there is every U.S. Thanksgiving. Who's your NFL team?
Oh, I'm a Denver Broncos fan, man. Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos, Bo Nix, not a bad choice, not a bad choice. Davis, this has been awesome. Congratulations again on the 3-year contract extension. You were fun to watch last season. Can't wait to see what you have in store for the next 3 years out there in Montreal. And we'll probably see you once you're down here in Edmonton next season. All the best. Enjoy the offseason, and we'll chat soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
Davis Alexander, quarterback of the Montreal Alouettes, signed a big deal, Gager. He was great. And were you surprised with his macaroni answer there?
Well, yeah, not so much because that's kind of an American, but the deviled eggs, man.
Nothing wrong with eggs, man.
Yeah, I love eggs. I don't think I've ever had a devil's egg. I might have had one at a sleazy bar in the U.S. They're sitting at the edge of the thing.
They've been there for years.
I think I took a couple of those down, but that was more because of the Samuel Adams that was probably going down before that.
I love eggs, Gager. Like eggs for me is one of my favorite foods, man, of all time. It doesn't matter how they're made. Like
egg salad. You like the egg salad?
I do.
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite way of eating eggs?
Mine?
Yeah, like scrambled, easy, over easy.
I like them all, man. But I guess I like sunny side up. Yeah. Crispy on the bottom, sunny side up. Probably my favorite. Poached. Those are my two.
Good. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Zach, you have a preference for eggs?
Poached all the way, or eggs Benny. Eggs Benny. It's got to be like the most delectable, most expensive egg. Like, give me some eggs Benedict or whatever. No ostrich eggs or nothing like that. Eggs Benny.
I like, I'm a sunny side up, but I've kind of went over to the over easy now. Gator.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Scrambled is good, too, if you mix it in with a bunch of other stuff. Omelet's good, and even boiled eggs I love. I know Lieutenant used to bring in boiled eggs at the old shop. And
all the time, yeah.
I'd always try to.
It's good, man.
Yeah, good stuff. But that was awesome. Big thanks to Francis there in Montreal for setting up Davis Alexander on a busy day for him as he met the Montreal media, as he's down there just doing some media and probably some marketing community stuff as well. But a great guy. I wish him all the best, Gager. He sounds like a really good dude, and he's probably going to get the EST afternoons bump as well. So Montreal has a good one, and we'll see what they do with Cody Fajardo there, if they keep him or if they move on from him. But Davis Alexander is the man in Montreal. All right, coming up next, we will wrap up the show, get you set for the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne here on EST Afternoons. It's Joaquin Gage, it's Hernan Salas, and now it's Kub with a sports update.
On a 3-game NFL slate, the Lions beat the Bears 23-20. And right now, it's the Giants and Cowboys tied at zeros early in the first quarter. Later, we see the Dolphins kicking off with the Packers, where you can join Lieutenant Eric for the action down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road. And according to EST's very own Jason Milne, Mark Killam, former special teams coordinator and assistant head coach for the Stampeders, is a leading candidate for the vacant head coach position of the Edmonton Elks. And the NHL has a day off today with the Oilers in Utah tomorrow, while the Oil Kings hit the ice tonight with the Hitmen out in Calgary on a 10-game WHL slate. And FIFA has placed the Canadian men's soccer team at 31st in the world rankings to end the year. This is the highest ranking Canada has received, with 33rd being the previous best back in 2022. EST Afternoons returns just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Black Friday at FXR Edmonton is the place to shop for the best deals of the year.
Whether you're looking for snowmobile apparel, riding gear, workwear, or a new jacket for looking stylish around town,
FXR Edmonton is the place to be. Door crasher deals up to 80% off, and the entire store is on sale, so don't miss out.
The best deals of the year. Black Friday at FXR Edmonton, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Come see us at 324 Mayfield Common.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 1,000 local vendors from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
It's 2:48, EST Afternoons, final segment here. It's coming to you live from the William Huff Studios in the west end of the city. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. NFL lives at the Canadian Brewhouse with Thursday Night Football and your chance to win a trip to an NFL home opener of your choice. $1 off tankards of Bud Light and Budweiser. Details at the CanadianBrewhouse.com. We're a little late as Davis Alexander joined us at 2:30, so it was a great convo there. He seems like a really good dude, man. Easy to work with.
He was awesome. He was unreal in those games that he played. Like, it was like, wow, what are they going to do with when Fajardo came back? Like, that was kind of
that's the thing, right? Like, and I always said, be cautious because he's on a good team, and we thought he might test free agents, get traded, or if they want to deal with Fajardo. But I think they made the right choice, Gage. Like, you have a 26-year-old. I mean,
we were talking about it yesterday, dude. The fact that, it's the cycle of good quarterbacks in the CFL is changing. Like, there's all these young gunslingers in now. And it's an exciting time. He said it himself. He wants to go up against the best, and all these young guys are pushing for number one spots. I think it's great. I think it's a huge opportunity to the CFL to market. Like, I like the commercials, but I think they can even do a better job, especially with these young quarterbacks taking the reins of all these teams.
Yeah, I know. That was a fun conversation. We're at 67 thumbs up. Come on, guys, let's get to 100. We only got like about 7 minutes here. It's been a slow couple of days with the thumbs up. It doesn't take much. Just hit it up. Let's do it for Gager to get better. Let's do it for Zach Hyman, who, Derek Van Diest said he did say he might play in one of the games on the weekend, which is an update from he was supposed to miss both games on the weekend, as well as the Oilers get set to head out on a 3-game road trip. Utah tomorrow, Colorado on Saturday, and then back, is it Tuesday for Vegas, Gager? I think that is correct, because I think next week is Tuesday, Thursday. So the Oilers will try to, try to keep going after their most impressive win of the year last Saturday against the New York Rangers. Seems like so long ago, Gage. It's kind of ridiculous.
I know. It's like last year.
It's kind of ridiculous that we've gone this long without the Oilers. Don't let this happen again. It probably won't this season, but it's absolutely crazy that they've been off for this long. A light practice, I think it was only 20. Someone in the inbox said it. He goes, "It was an activation." And speaking of that, I'm gonna get an activation in after work, Gager. So feeling good. I've been hitting the gym twice already this week, Gager. I'm doing well. Trying to drop a few lbs before the Christmas wait, and then hopefully go on a vacation somewhere warm in the new year. So got to work on the bod.
Well, yeah, you do. Yeah, just tarps off when Hernan's on vacation. So you got to get those.
It's not a pretty sight, my man. But
get those curls going. A couple push-ups, couple sit-ups, straight to the sauna.
But when I'm in by the beach, there's nothing that's gonna bother me, man. Especially if I have a michelada by my side and all that. I have no issues whatsoever of how I look, and it's fun. It's fun. Did you ever do the all-inclusive, Gager?
Right before COVID, actually, we went to Mexico for a little over a week and stuff. So it was great. But having kids on vacation, it's a working a working vacation.
Yeah, it's a little
basically.
different, right?
Yeah, they're
You can't
they're
get
all
too
poopy
crazy.
pants, missing their friends at home.
Oh,
When they're
God.
at this, yeah, it's just like, what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah.
So-
Last time I went was 2018, so before COVID as well. And I went to Chile too, so it was a 2 vacation year for good old Hernan. But I love it. I love it because it's good food. You get to be in the pool, good shows, and then you can drink whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, my son actually won a bottle of tequila. It was just hilarious. So I drank it.
Do you try everything when you go on those all inclusives, or are you like for one day you'll stick to beer, the next day you'll do?
No, it's whatever next up, whatever it is, right? You got to try everything because what if you miss out on something? You gotta you try the whole menu. You go try to make it through the whole thing, and then you make notes. Well, I liked that one better. I'll go with that. If something wasn't as good, you still get it down, and then you go from there.
I'll ask you this question too. Did you ever have one day where you needed to take off, where you were just like, "Oh, I need a break"?
I was pretty much in the pocket the whole time, dude. I didn't go high, didn't go low. It was funny because even my wife said to me, she goes, "I've been drunk every day." And I go, "Yeah, but we're not going crazy, right? We're just having drinks all day." So it's definitely a different vibe, right? You're in the sun all day, you go out at night, you're feeling good, and then you basically kind of go to bed early because you're sun drenched and you've had probably too many drinks. You're in bed by 8, and by 7:30 the next morning you're ready for a mimosa.
See, the problem with me is I get there and I get so excited. So first 3 days I'm just going, and then the fourth day is usually my day where it's just water. Like I need to recover, and but next trip I want to do it different. I kind of want to pace yourself, like you said, pace yourself every day, have some fun, go to bed, and then because it's always good to get up early, go for breakfast, get your chairs on the beach or by the pool, and it's just a more mature way of approaching the all-inclusives instead of going crazy the first 3 days, right?
You can't be Lamar Jackson. You can't be all over the place, right? You got to be more Tom Brady. Stay in the pocket, Go down.
I like that.
Use your progressions. Work your way down, then go back. Huddle up, boys. Huddle up.
But the reason I asked what you drink is because I was the same way. I would drink everything. Like, try look at that drink. What are you drinking? No. Like for me, it's gonna be either beer or just hard liquor. Like the slushy sweet drinks just make me sick, Gager. Especially
once in a while, it's fine to have one. But yeah, I usually just give me some tequila on the ice, and that's great. A beer here, a daiquiri I'll try. Margarita once in a while. But yeah, I'm just slow burn.
I'm a wine guy, so obviously I'm not having wine at the pool or at the beach. But like I like to have it for dinner. But in Mexico, they serve red wine cold, which is weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you're not supposed to serve it cold, but they do there. But you can ask for a room temperature red wine. For people that don't know that, if you ask for it, they will bring you one that's a little bit warmer, right? Because you're not supposed to drink cold red wine unless it's a Jote, right?
It's just so weird when you just go up to the bar and they just, what do you want? And you say this and they just give it to you. You're like, my God.
Well, I remember my first time we were trying to be bougie after dinner. We're like, yeah, we'll get a Johnny Walker. It almost knocked me out of my socks, man. But you're right, though, right? Because you can pretty much have anything, Gage.
Yeah.
Like I remember on that trip too, I ended up my last few days I was drinking rum with pineapple juice because I had tried everything and sick of everything. I was like, I need something just kind of refreshing, right? And I went with straight up rum and pineapple juice because I was out of ideas, man. Because you drink so much.
Yeah, they had something called a Funky Monkey in there. It was probably, I want to say it was about 6,000 calories in that thing. It was like Haagen-Dazs ice cream and banana and rum and Kahlua. It was just, it tasted amazing, but that was like, it was a meal in itself.
And I also like some of the best is when you're done your pool day around 5, 6, you're going to go shower up and get ready for dinner, is when you're walking back and they have like the taco stand or they have like, they're making paella on the side.
Yeah.
Like, those sometimes are the best meals, Gager, because their a la carte stuff is great, but I almost prefer the buffet, man.
Well, who doesn't like a buffet? You know,
there's people that don't.
Really?
Yeah.
The Mexican buffet? Come on. The rice, the beans, the tortillas, the salsas, the chicken. It's just, come on. Mexican food is fantastic.
Yeah, and it's got a little bit of everything. Like if you're picky, right? If you're afraid of trying like the spice and some of the Mexican flavors and all that, they do have like your pizzas and your burgers and your salads.
Oh yeah, they have it. Dusty be fine. He could go get a meat burger.
He would struggle in an all-inclusive.
Oh yeah, that's funny, but he would.
He would, or the sports bar food.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah.
Everybody raids at about 2 a.m. and there's like spaghetti in a container, or like I can't remember what else.
Yeah, the brown food group. It's just everything's deep fried.
All right. Again, we went off the rails. I don't know why we started talking about all.
It always ends up with food or
booze
or drinking. Jesus.
Well, Gager, thank you for toughing it out the last 3 days. I hope you're back in the studio tomorrow. If not, we'll go remote once again. But it will be finally a game day for the Edmonton Oilers as they will take on Utah Hockey Club, and we'll have a lot more fun tomorrow on EST Afternoons. Big shout out to Derek Van Diest from NHL.com and Davis Alexander from the Montreal Alouettes. Big shout out to Tracy for qualifying for the EST Flyaway to LA, our final qualifier here on EST Afternoons. Your next chance, Reed Wilkins with Jay Milne coming up next. For Zach and Joaquin Gage, I'm Hernan Salas. This has been EST Afternoons. Thank you for tuning in. We'll chat tomorrow. Ciao.
Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com.